You're watching Cinemaz. I'm the real Maz, and I love movies. The Suicide Squad. Forget the 2016 version even existed, because this is what it should have been. Before I start the review, I just want to say I'm going to be reviewing movies as a fan, not as a film critic. So I'm going to be sharing my opinions on the movies or the series I'm going to be reviewing. I freaking loved this movie, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, when I heard that James Gunn was directing this movie, I just knew he was going to do a good job. Just like he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, which I freaking loved. He's got a plate full of insane, crazy and unique characters in this movie, which if you don't develop properly, can go pretty bad. But of course, James Gunn and character development just do work perfectly together.
Rebedimo, are you serious? You like the characters of this movie?
I thought we weren't interrupting each other's channels. Just stay in your corner and be quiet, please.
Μου βάλανε μια καρχαρία που μιλάει στην ταινία. They put a talking shark in the movie. What is this, ρε? It's for kids. It's for kids, man. Come on.
I'm begging you. This is my first video on my new channel. Just let me do this review in peace. Sorry about him. He was supposed to stay quiet during this video. So yeah. James Gunn is brilliant with character development and chemistry between the characters. In this movie, there are so many characters. I'm not saying they were all perfect, but whenever a James Gunn character was on screen, I enjoyed myself. I was having a good time. I wasn't looking away. James Gunn has taken many characters that I personally do not know. A lot of them have these insanely crazy, stupid superpowers, but they actually work. I mean, I was entertained, like properly entertained. He created a little backstory for them. I don't know if he created them or if they're in the original comics, but there's these little backstories for each character that helps a lot with their character development. And it just did work, you know what I mean? Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba, who is kind of the main character in this movie. And once again, Idris Elba knocks it out of the park with this role, as he does always. He always gives his 100% in his roles. You believe him, you believe his character. He's this cool, tough, I really don't give a shit and I'm doing this just for my daughter kind of role. I do not want to name all the characters in this movie because there are so many, because I don't really want to spoil anything and I don't want my reviews to be really analytical. I just want them to be me giving my opinion on a movie to you guys, for you to decide if you want to watch it or not. You know what I mean? Margot Robbie was brilliant as Harley Quinn in this movie. She was just crazy. I mean, we saw all her insanity in this movie. I actually believed that she's insane. That's how good of a performance Margot Robbie gave to this role. And of course, the directing and the writing that James Gunn gave to her. Harley Quinn in this movie is way more of a Harley Quinn than the other two movies, by far, especially Birds of Prey. And there is one scene with Harley Quinn that is by far my favorite scene in this movie. Maybe even my favorite scene in all DC movies. And it features Harley Quinn. If you've watched the movie by now, you'll probably agree with me on that scene. If you haven't watched the movie, then when you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll know which scene I'm referring to. And also, Viola Davis gave a very good performance as Amanda Waller. I mean, this woman is fierce and tough, and she would do anything to get a job done. I mean, anything. John Cena's in there as well, being John Cena. It sounds a bit funny, innit? John Cena was in the movie. John Cena. What? Anyway, it is what it is. John Cena's in the movie. He's not actually that bad. Among many other characters. Now let's get to the story. The story's not that special. It's very average. It's just there for the movie to be made. You know, if this story didn't existed, then many unique and crazy things that happen in the movie wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the story. So the story just had to be put there. It's not bad, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just nothing special. Amanda Waller gives the Suicide Squad another mission just like the first one, and whoever aborts the mission before successfully completing the mission, well, she kills them. Now
Yo, tell him about the Harley Quinn scene.
I did tell them about that scene. I guess you weren't paying attention. Will you guys just leave me finish this video in peace? Stop interrupting me, please. I apologize for that. It's very unprofessional for me, especially for a first video on a channel. I told them to shut up, but they just keep interrupting me. Anyway, my editor is probably not going to put it in the video. I hope. Don't put it in the video. The cinematography and uniquely shot scenes in this movie were just stunning. They were so cool. You can just tell that James Gunn did whatever the hell he wanted with this movie. He added his own little style of text effects all over the place in different parts of the movie, which I just enjoyed. Imagine watching a movie and having a smile on your face just by looking at text. This movie is insanely colourful and just beautiful to look at. I would highly recommend watching this movie on a 4K OLED screen, especially that scene with Harley Quinn, which is very, very, very pretty to look at. There's also this other scene I didn't mention with Harley Quinn, and if you guys know Chris Stuckman, he also mentioned this in his video, but there's a scene where you just don't know what's going on. It's like 10 minutes, but you have no idea what's going on. You're like, what am I watching? What's just happened? What just happened? Is this another movie? But then something happens and you say, ah, that's why this scene exists. And it just did put a smile on my face. I could watch this version of Harley Quinn all day. I honestly couldn't keep my eyes off this movie even for a second, and I'm very passionate about movies since I was a little kid. And when different directors give their 100% in a movie, I respect that. James Gunn really did something special here, and I would easily put this movie in my top 10 superhero movies of all time. The Suicide Squad is supposed to be this insanely crazy, stupid movie, and that's exactly what it was in all the good ways. It wasn't a perfect movie, but James Gunn did do the best he can, and I respect that. I mean, the action sequences, the CGI was amazing, and the gore, the amount of gore in this film is crazy. Let's get to the verdict. I don't really want to start scoring the movies. I prefer giving my own opinion, talking about the movie, but I guess that's the main part of a review, giving it a score. So if I had to give it a score, I would definitely give it a 90 out of 100. Easy. Well, that was that. This was my first video on my new English channel. Give your opinions in the comments. I'm going to put a heart on all comments, on every single comment in the comment section. I said comment so many times there. I'm sorry about these guys who interrupted me. I don't think the editor's going to leave it in the video. And what else am I going to say? See you in the next review. Bye.